Okay, let's go.
Jazzy Joe's Autograph Adventures.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Jazzy Joe's Autograph Adventures, a web series where I show you 10 different autographs of 10 different legends in every episode. And before we move on, I'd like to thank all of you very much for all your love and feedback that you give me every week. And that makes me very excited, and I want to do more and more shows, show you more and more autographs. So before we move on, first of all, thank you. This time we are talking about the top 10 popular Indian pop stars in my collection. And we're going to start with an artist who is known to bring a unique genre onto the dance floors, that is Bhangra Muffin. He is a singer, a songwriter, and a reggae DJ based in UK, and he had a huge string of hits in the 90s. I'm talking about Stephen Kapoor, or as he is known around the world, Apache Indian. Apache recorded his first single in 1990, Movie Over India, initially a white label pressing until it was picked up by the reggae distributor Jetstar. The single mixed Raga and Bhangra sounds and was hugely popular among audiences of both genres. Two further singles followed in a similar vein, Chok There and Don Raja, bringing him to the attention of the major labels. And in 1992, he signed a recording contract with Island Records. He has written songs about serious topics such as arranged marriage, AIDS warning, and election crisis, as well as lighter songs such as Boom Shakalak, Jump Up, and Celebrate. Winner of many awards, Apache Indian has recorded with Rexen Effect, Sean Paul, Maxi Priest, General Lovey, Brian and Tony Gold, Shaggy, Boy George, A.R. Rahman, Asha Bhosle, Malkit Singh, Stereo Nation, Bali Sagoo, Raghav, and with Jazzy B on the album Dil Lutia. Although I've been a fan of Apache Indian right since the early 90s, I got to meet him when he came for a show in Delhi at one of the clubs, and I watched him perform. And once his performance ended, then I approached him with the LP records, and I also had a big poster for him to sign. And he was very happy to see the records, and he signed all of them very happily. And the record I want to show all of you is this one. Yes, this is the legendary track Chok There. And this particular record has 6 remixes of the track and a wonderful cover. You can see on the back side he's showing off his haircut, and in the front it looks like pieces of paper have been taped together, and you can see that he's written to Jazzy Joe with love and peace, Apache Indian. Our next artist is credited for being the pioneer of cross-cultural Asian fusion music since 1989. A man with many names, Tarsam Singh and Johnny Z, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, and as he has signed for me, Taj Stereo Nation. Taj established himself as a recording artist with the release of his debut album Hit the Deck in 1989 and stormed the UK Asian pop charts for 36 weeks at number 1. The album went on to become one of the biggest selling Asian fusion releases of all time. Described as the pioneer of pop fusion, a lyricist, composer and producer, Taj quickly became the embodiment of cross-cultural music. His music is best described as a hybrid of traditional Asia fused with Western pop sensibility, infectious melodies and dynamic dance grooves. He went on to produce many albums in the 1990s and early 2000s like Spirits of Rhythm, Jambo, Nasha, O Laila, Tasmania, Twist and Shout, Jawani on the Rocks, etc. But his most successful album to date is Slave to Fusion with DJ Kendall, released in 2000, which includes many of his most well-known hit songs, including Pyar Ho Gaya, Gala Goriyan, and the super hit Nachange Sari Raat. Taz has also given hit songs and music for many Bollywood movies, along with hit performances all around the world. Taz must be the only musical artist who has autographed so many items for me, 32 to be precise, at one go, at a single go. And he was so happy to see all his CDs and records that he signed all of them for me. It was a great feeling to meet such a legendary singer, someone I've been a fan of, and him being so happy and signing all the items at one go. And the record I want to show all of you is a beautiful one. It is this one. One of the hit songs of Stereo Nation, I've Been Waiting. And as you can see, it's a wonderful photograph on the front. As soon as I saw the photograph of this record, I had to import it. I had to get it, and I was hoping for Taz to autograph this because it's such a lovely photograph in the front. And the record has two mixes of this super hit track, the rare groove mix and the original mix. And in the front, you can see Taz has written for Jazzy Joe, love from Taj Stereo Nation. And next, we have an artist who is also a British Indian music producer and is responsible for many hit songs from his albums, from movies, and from his collaborations with other artists. I am talking about Rishpal Singh Ricky, or as everybody knows him, Rishi Rich. Award-winning multi-talented producer, composer, and talent scout, Rishi Rich has been one of the key pioneers of the Asian R&B fusion music genre that emerged in the mid-2000s. He began his fruitful career at the age of 13 and has worked with some great acts such as Britney Spears, Craig David, and Madonna, to name a few. Staying true to his culture and his roots, this maestro has also developed and mentored Jay Sean, Jaggy D, H. Dami, Veronica, and many other UK Asian artists. Whilst dominating the British Asian music scene, Rich also spent time in America under the guidance of his own inspiration, Teddy Riley. For over 4 years now, Rishi has already created waves with his music for Bollywood movies such as Half Girlfriend, Mubaraka, Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas, and Gully Boy, just to name a few. Mid-2020 saw the birth of Break the Noise Records, an innovative record label with which Rishi Rich is looking to continue breaking musical barriers with his contemporary fusion of music genres whilst working with different independent artists around the globe. I met Rishi Rich in Mumbai, and it was so great to meet him after so many years because I know him since the Too Cool and Dondi days when they came to India. They came to tour India with their early albums, and of course he has made so many wonderful tracks and so many great albums, as Rishi Rich. And I thought maybe he would have an attitude, but on the contrary, he was so welcoming and met me so joyfully, and he immediately called up Dondi, who was in UK, and then we had a video chat, and it was like meeting old friends after 2 days, not after so many years. And he was very happy to see all his LP records, all his collaborations, all his albums, and he signed them for me. And the record I want to show you is this one. This is the 12-inch of the super hit song Dance With You, or Nachna Tere Naal, which is by the Rishi Rich project featuring Jay Sean and Jaggy D. And this particular record has 4 mixes, the dancehall mix and the original version, and also the Wayne Wonder remixes on side B, which are the Renless mix and the Joe Bongo mix. And as you can see, he has signed in the front, right next to his photograph, to Jazzy Joe, love, Rishi Rich. Our next artist is not only known as a folk pop artist, but is also an actress, a music director, and a TV personality. She is known for her rustic voice and her folk pop songs. I am talking about the inimitable Ila Arun. Ila Arun has sung numerous film songs in Hindi, and her most famous film song to date has been Choli Ke Piche, sung along with Alka Yagnik for the film Khalnayak, starring Madhuri Dixit, for which they won the Filmfare Award for Best Female Playback Singer. Another song which she is famous for is Gup Chup from the film Karan Arjun. She is also well known for her song Morni Bagama Bole, accompanied with Lata Mangeshkar in the movie Lamhe starring Sridevi. Her last noteworthy song was also with A.R. Rahman, composed for the internationally acclaimed film Slumdog Millionaire called Ringa Ringa. She has produced several successful singles and albums such as Vote for Bhangra, Nigodi Kaisi Jawani Hai, Banjaran, Khichdi, Mela, Chapan Churi and more. Since she hails from Rajasthan, she sings Rajasthani songs in her albums and movies. Ila Arun has been a part of the early years of Indian television industry, acting in the 1980s, Bharat Ek Khoj, Yatra and more. I met Ila Arunji when she came to Delhi for a theatre performance, and it was great to meet her, and she saw all the records and she was very excited, very happy, and she signed all of them, and she was particularly excited about one record. That is the record I want to show all of you. It is not a record of her as a singer, but it is the first movie where she acted. This is a record of the movie Mandi, where the director was Shyam Benegal and the music was by Vanraj Bhatia. And as I said, you can see the songs, they are by other artists, but not by Ila Arun. Although on the front cover, I don't know if you can recognize her. This was her first role in a Bollywood movie. Of course, she did many more roles later on. And you can see she has signed in the front of the cover. She has signed just next to her picture, nearby to her picture. Let that be a clue. One of the most prized autograph records in my collection. And now we have a pop star who has been a darling of audiences in her shows all over India and with her hit albums and her hit songs. Ladies and gentlemen, Anamika. Anamika started her musical journey from New York, where she formed her own band, playing to a fast-growing galaxy of fans. Then, home vacant, and she made her debut on the Indian music shows with an energizing blend of Western and Indian styles. She hit the music world with her lilting husky voice in her first album, Catwalk. The album and the track won her instant recognition as a singer with great promise. She is thoroughly trained in Indian classical music and writes her own lyrics and even composes music for her songs. Apart from her original tracks, she also sings her own rendition of chart-topping international songs and Hindi film remixes of classic oldies and popular favorites. Her hit songs include Tumko Piya Dil Diya, Kahin Karta Hoga Intezar, Kala Shah Kala, Sona Disda, Nidra and others. Now what can I tell you about meeting Anamika? When I joined Le Méridien Hotel in 1992 as a resident DJ, Anamika was performing at the same hotel every night at the rooftop, and we used to meet after our performances at the late dinner, and we used to talk about music, about the crowd, about the Delhi nightlife. And recently I met her at one of her performances, and this time, because I was collecting autographs by then, I took all her CDs for her to autograph. And she was so excited and happy to see that I have all her CD albums, and she signed all of them very, very happily. And I don't want to show you a CD. In fact, I want to show you another rare item, which is this cassette cover. This is the cassette cover of her album Catwalk, which had music by Edwin A.J. Fernandez, a good friend of mine. The lyrics were by Anamika and Rajiv Anand, and the male vocals were by Julius Peckham. This is the album which made Anamika famous all over India, and of course her Other albums which came after this cemented her place in the Indian pop scene. Our next legend is not only a musician himself, but is also the producer and creator of the UK Bhangra scene. I am talking about Deepak Kajanchi. Deepak Kajanchi was born in Srinagar, Kashmir in the late 1940s. He is responsible for huge Bhangra acts and albums like Alap, Hira, Hole Hole and Bhangra Fever. The emergence of London-based music director Deepak Kajanchi introduced the pioneering sounds of mixing traditional folk-style Punjabi music with Western instruments. The 1980s was a special era for UK Bhangra music. It marked a revolution spearheaded by popular Bhangra bands creating a cultural identity with their music. Deepak Kajanchi also set up his Arishma Records label and his company studio in 1985, and Deepak says Diamonds from Hira is the best album to date released on the label. Pioneering Bhangra music producer Deepak Kajanchi has a phenomenal record of music and production of 67 albums to his credit until 2018. Now, I've not been able to meet Deepak Kajanchi, although at one time I was in Mumbai for 2-3 days. I got to know he's in town and he's at a certain studio. I went there and I got to know he just left a couple of hours before and he's gone to Kailash Kher's studio. So I ran there, but he had left there also. And by the time I found out where he was staying, he had already gone back to London. So I have not been able to meet him yet, but I do have him in my autograph records collection, and it is on this record. This is a very famous and rare record, Bhangra Fever. It has the remixes of Hira, Kalapreet and Hole Hole. It's got wonderful hits like Mar Chhadappa, Hole Hole, Munda Patlaya and Bolia. As you can see, it's a very, very colorful record cover and it's got photographs at the back. And he has signed in the front over his photograph. Our next pop star became famous worldwide when he remixed a Bhangra track with a TV serial's theme song. And he created a song that rocked dance floors all over the world. The song's name was Munde To Bachke, and I am talking about Rajendra Singh Rai, or as the world knows him, Punjabi MC. Punjabi MC adopted his stage name from the Punjabi language he used in the music he plays and rapping. One of his main goals is to fuse the two worlds of Bhangra and hip hop. A very successful release of his was Munde To Bachke, which means Beware of the Boys, in 1998. It first appeared on the album Legalized and it mixed the theme of the TV series Knight Rider with a Bhangra track. An underground hit on the internet, it was picked up by the German record label Superstar Recordings and became a hit record in Germany and across Europe, including the UK. A version of this recording in 2003 featured American rapper Jay-Z named Beware of the Boys. His album Indian Timing was also released in 2008. His work, particularly the early singles and the Munde To Bachke remix with Jay-Z, brought Bhangra to a global audience via the BBC. He continues to produce music and is ever popular as a collaborator and remixer. Although I've never met Punjabi MC yet, but I got one of my friends in the UK to ask him to sign one of his records. He had come out with a few records, very limited release, and I managed to buy a couple of them, and my friend got it autographed, and this is the record. This is the 12-inch of the record Snake Charmer. It has both Snake Charmer and the song Punjaban on it, and on side B it has the instrumentals of both the tracks. And you can see he is signed on the record label, not on the cover, but on the record label, saying Love Punjabi MC. Right, guys, our journey continues with our legendary pop stars. And our next artist was born in Ontario, Canada, to Indian parents. And by the age of 16, he had written a song that was awarded by the National Songwriters Association of USA. I am talking about Raghav Mathur, or as he is known around the music world, Raghav. Raghav is a Canadian singer-songwriter who has released 3 studio albums: the debut Storyteller in 2004, Identity in 2009, and The Phoenix in 2012. His most known commercial success was with Angel Eyes, which peaked at number 7 in the UK in 2005. His singles So Confused, Can't Get Enough, and It Can't Be Right also reached the UK top 10 in 2004. Raghav continues to have success on Canadian charts with subsequent hits like So Much with Cardinal Official, Fire, Top of the World, Woohoo, and Until the Sun Comes Up. Raghav's worldwide tour of 2005 saw him perform in venues such as Karachi, New York City, Africa, Australia, Canada, and many other countries. Raghav's debut album Storyteller has sold 1.6 million copies worldwide. And I haven't met Raghav yet also, because every time he came to India, I was busy somewhere, he was busy in his shows, so we couldn't meet up. But I do have his autograph in my collection, and this is a record I want to show you all. This is one of his hit songs, Let's Work It Out. And this particular record has 5 tracks. 4 of them are Let's Work It Out, the Mushtaq's club mix, the instrumental, the radio edit, and the a cappella. And it also has the very popular hit song Teri Baaton, or Your Words. And as you can see in the front, he is signed saying, All my love, God bless. Our next pop star is from the Punjabi and Bhangra genre and has given hit after hit on his albums and his movie soundtracks. And he's a big favorite with all the Bollywood DJs because all his songs are dance floor fillers. They are sure shots for a Bollywood DJ. I am talking about Hirdesh Singh, or better known as Yo-Yo Honey Singh. Yo-Yo Honey Singh, or Honey Singh, is an Indian music composer, rapper, pop singer, and film actor. He started out as a session and recording artist and became a Bhangra music producer. Later, he got success with his music and started making songs for Bollywood films. Honey Singh and Diljit Dosanjh's song Lag 28 Kudi Da reached number 1 in the BBC Asian download charts in May 2011. Singh received the ETC award for the best sound in 2006 for his song Glassy, the PTC award for the best folk pop award 2009 for Rebirth, and the PTC award again for Punjab's best music director in 2011. It has been reported that he was paid the highest fee ever for a Bollywood song as of 2012 of rupees 7 million, that is US dollars 98,000, for a song in the films Cocktail and Mastan. Singh also topped the chart of trending videos and earned 2 places on YouTube's list of top 10 trending videos of 2012. Now with Honey Singh, there were a few opportunities to meet him, but every time he came to Delhi for a show, I was caught up in my own show or somewhere else. So one of the times, one of my friends was organizing the show, so I gave him a DVD cover for Honey Singh to sign, and he got it signed, and this is the cover. This is a private DVD of Honey Singh, and it has all his hits, 27 hits of him on DVD, and he has signed it right next to his photograph. And once again, our 10th pop star. Last but definitely not the least. In fact, again I have saved my favorite for the last. It is someone whom I've been often mistaken for, and couple of times I have got a call asking me if I can be booked for a show, thinking that I was him, because we have very similar names. And apart from hit music, hit albums, hit movie soundtracks, he also has a fashion label called Be Jazzy. I think now you know whom I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jaswinder Singh Benz, or as the world knows him, Jazzy B. Jazzy B is an Indian-Canadian Punjabi playback singer and songwriter whose first album, Gugiyan Da Jora, was released in 1993. The rhythm was played by Sukhshinder Shinda, who suggested that he move to England if he wanted a prominent career in Punjabi music. He is a big fan of the late singer Kuldeep Manak, which is one of the reasons why Jazzy's album Maharajas, released in 2011 with Kuldeep's son Yudhvir, also a singer, is a tribute to Kuldeep Manak, with some of Kuldeep's original vocals retained, and many other songs sung by Jazzy and Yudhvir are also a tribute to Kuldeep Manak. Jazzy B has released 12 studio albums and 2 religious ones. He has collaborated on many tracks with many great artists. He is known for his song Dil Lutia with Apache Indian from his album Romeo, and has also featured in many Bollywood movies. Now, with such similar names, there is bound to be confusion, and we had a good laugh about it when I met him the first time in Chandigarh at the launch of the music store Planet M, where about 20 of us artists had gone there to perform for the launch of the store. And we talked about it and we had a good laugh about it. And the second time I met him is when he came to Delhi for a show. And around that time I had started collecting autographs. So I took a record for him to autograph for me. And he was so overjoyed on seeing that record, because it's a very, very special record, very, very rare record. And he asked me where I got it, because only a few copies, less than 10, were printed of that record. It was a white label, what we call a white label record. And the record that I want to show you is the same record. It's this one. It has some of Jazzy B's best songs, best tracks, and it was not commercially available, which makes it very, very special. And it has 8 tracks from Jazzy B and his friends. And you can see he has signed in the front, not only on the cover, but also on the record label. He was so happy with it that he signed both on the cover and the record label. A very, very special record in my autographed collection. And now we come to the end of this episode. Once again, I hope you enjoyed all the information and the autographs. And if you did, please like and share this video, and please subscribe to my channel, Jazzy Joe Entertainment. And stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching this video, and you can also send any questions, suggestions or feedback to this email, jazzyautographs@yahoo.com. For all my autograph collector friends, happy collecting. And for everyone else watching, I hope you will join me in the next episode for 10 more autographs, 10 more artists based on another theme. Till then, take care and all the best.
Thank you.